G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Tavor X95, not to be confused with an IWI Tavor X95, although the resemblance is uncanny, don't you think? Nah, just kidding, it's the same gun, but they're made by two different people. The original X95 Tavor that I looked at was made by Ardent, and this one is made by FXO101 or whatever his name is. It's harder to say than Ardent, so that's a point to the Ardent category already. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be comparing them. I'll just be looking at this one and seeing what it can do. 90 damage with a standard receiver, that is the same as a vanilla game assault rifle, so I can expect a per bullet, per shot approach of this damage being fairly balanced, but it's a Tavor. It's Israeli bullpup. It fires very, very fast indeed. We might be able to see some really good DPS when firing this thing, and through preliminary testing of this, I found that the recoil element is not existent, so it'll be a nice bullet hose laser show going into Immersive Gunners Plaza. Custom reloads and animations, as you'd expect from any extremely high quality weapon mod, and I say, this one looks brilliant. Very good. Anyways, let's get into receivers. First of all, we got the receivers. Yeah, tautological there, but we'll go for auto powerful on this one. Pretty much the same modifications as you get out of an assault rifle. There's calibrated ones for crits, there's semi-automatic ones for riflemen and sniper knockdowns. We'll go for auto version on this one, and we'll make the barrel as long as we can, and ported for recoil control, very similar to the vanilla game descriptions on these, so pretty standard, very thus far. It's yeah, it's at least it's familiar. It's ingrained itself, or integrated itself into the system of Fallout 4's modifications pretty well, and there's a recoil compensating stock. That's helpful. You'll notice that these actually don't change the stock at all. That's just numbers changing. Not all the numbers that you can see here, though. Numbers behind the scenes, under the bonnet. Anyway, so for the magazines, the highest you can get is a 60 round magazine. There's also options for a 9mm one, which will change it to 38 caliber rounds, which are close to the 9mm rounds, I suppose. It doesn't give you any damage penalties. It does reduce your possible mag capacity to down to 32, but if you need to get rid of a bunch of 38 rounds, then this is an extremely powerful option to do so, which I think is pretty neat. So we might look at that a little bit later on, considering it's not, you know, changing our damage numbers. We'll use one with one of those mags, but for now we'll throw on this big Stanag casket magazine. It's got 60 rounds in it. It's not going to jam on us because we're playing a video game, and guns don't jam in video games unless you're playing Fallout 3 or New Vegas. Anyways, we'll go on to the sights now. These ones, unlike your standard COD ports, actually are what they are called in real life. So if you want an ACOG on this one, then it's called an ACOG. Isn't that nice? There's also some bigger scopes if you scroll down the bottom. We're going to keep this one simple. We'll just go for a standard aim point. You can throw on different risers here if you feel like it. If you've got a laser sight mounted out towards the front, maybe you want yourself to have a little bit more of a riser on your aim point. Plus, I think it'd be a little bit more comfortable. You don't have to hunker down your cheek so close to the gun. So, sure, that makes sense. Next, we've got muzzles. You got your standard recoil compensator and muzzle brake for recoil control, but you've also got suppressors in 3 different flavors. Pick what you want, they all do the same, and we get a little bit extra damage thanks to Ace Operator 2, which is never a bad thing. Legendary effect provided by legendary modification. Skip over that. And now we can start putting stuff on the rails, including covers if we're not using them. That's no cover, and that was a cover on that side. You can throw on flashlights and laser sights like you'd expect. Let's throw on a laser sight, NC star. And you've got the option of changing the laser sight to a beam, on or off, or a dot. It's up to you what you want. We'll go for a beam on this one because I think the beams look cool and the enemies can't actually trace you back. Now, this right rail, you can't actually attach anything there. It's either a cover plate or nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And there's also an upper laser sight here, like I was mentioning before. You've got an option to throw that on, although it's sort of canted off to the side there, so perhaps you don't need quite a massive riser on your aim point reflex sight should you want to pick that, but it'd be a little bit in your way if you were using the standard one, but it's a nice option to have if you feel like using it. And you can throw on some foregrips on the rail, including one foregrip and a cover thing for it, and cover up that Picatinny rail. Make sure the dust doesn't get on it, so when you do attach your foregrips, it won't seize up or anything. And you can also change the look of this thing. Standard is black, olive is olive, and FDE is a sandy color, which is cool. but I think it looks best in jet black. Also, a quick damage slider there if you don't feel like this thing is up to snuff for its damage, which I think it'll be fine with this thing's supreme rate of fire and its vanilla game damage model. I think it'll be quite alright, but you can go up to plus 90 to 30 damage would be extremely powerful on this one, maybe more comparable to an Ardent weapon, maybe somewhere around the 20 to 40 would be more at that, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the customization. Go shoot things, I'm tired. In order to craft your Tavor X95, you go down to your chemistry workbench, and for an assault rifle and rubber spring steel and aluminum, you can make it. Gun nut rank 2 required as well. And we're back in the immersive Gunner's Plaza with a Tavor X95. Yeah, I'm getting deja vu here, but drawing and sheathing this version of the Tavor is pretty interesting. You could argue that they're showing off a little bit, but I do enjoy a little bit of showmanship in the animations of this weapon, and that's kind of cool. Now, obviously, you can skip that if you switch straight to other weapons on your hotbar, or if you want to skip it from being drawn out completely, you can just equip it in third person, and there will be no animation played. So in a pinch in combat where you don't want to dance around with your gun for a few seconds before actually able to fire, then you just go into third person and then pull it out there. Now, this is the one that I made on the workbench. You already know what this thing is and what it does, so we'll move on to the next one. This one's my stealthy sniper status with no laser sights, anything whatsoever. Just a scope, a suppressor, a big magazine, of course, and a semi-automatic receiver, which hopefully allows me to get sniper knockdowns. I've got a good feeling about this one since we're using a vanilla spec TV medium scope there, so that's nice. And of course, I've got a close quarters variant. This one here has the 9mm down chamber in it. That's what it sounds like. And it's also got a very short barrel, so I'm gonna have to get in very close to actually deal maximum damage there. But to do that, we've got an iron sights there, which I've supplemented with a little bit of a laser sight because, well, sometimes if you're pointing at a thing that's even vaguely the same color as your front post, you won't be able to see it. So having that little green dot that I can see pretty much all the time, very useful. And lastly, I've got this one, medium range semi-auto version without a suppressor. It's also got that drum magazine there, which you can't really see because it's clipping into Raine's armband there, but there is clipping going right through her wrist, which, you know, using a casket magazine is probably more practical. But anyways, I see a behemoth over there, so we're gonna take this guy down. Probably on the very edge of this thing's operational range there, but the job is done, and now we can go into the classic Terramorphous can't kill me sniper spot and get started. So getting just over 200 damage and 400, and shut up phone, across the room with you now. Don't like being distracted like that. Anyways, let's begin, and we've got a bunch of bullets. Probably don't have to worry about missing too many shots, I suppose. And look at them come closer there. Bad time to reload. We'll just skip that by doing this. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into bullet time VATS here and do this as cheaply as possible. Okay, never mind, I've been spotted. Well, that was good while it lasted, but even then, like, there's not a whole lot of recoil when using this thing. I'm hitting him for 111 damage. That's funny. But that's a confirmed sniper knockdown, so we'll play with this one a little bit later. For now, we'll go back over to my suppressed powerful auto version and begin. I think these sights are a little bit more intrusive, obstructive than I first thought. Maybe it was not a good idea using the aim points. I don't usually back the aim points, and I usually go for something more open like Aerotex or the basket sights. I really enjoy using those ones because there's like nothing to obstruct your view. These ones, maybe not so much, so probably to a little bit of a detriment to this weapon, I've picked the wrong reflex sight. Too much housing. They used to not use the American reflex sight in the Battlefield game because they used to give you too much of a hard time when you're trying to aim. Less peripheral vision. Anyways, I picked the wrong version here. I think this one being like a see-through scope, it's just an FOV multiplier on a reflex sight pretty much. It doesn't appear to be giving me any options for sniper knockdowns, so that's a little bit of a shame, and we've gone through those 60 rounds pretty quickly, so I'll go back to my actual close quarters version. There we go. Perhaps the excuse to use bullet time VATS is well spoken for using this one, so well, let's use that a little bit. Not that there's a lot of a recoil to deal with anyway, but we'll nail easy headshots in slow motion, like doing a shot of jet, and we can just shred them up close. Over range though, even this far, it's struggling, so we'll just get nice and close. The weapon's rate of fire lends itself pretty well to that anyway, so we're kind of playing to the weapon strengths being up very close and personal like this. Now, I wonder if I'm getting some sort of penalty, because I'm only getting half the damage using this thing. I'm stuttering a lot too. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's because I'm fighting at a longer range than what the barrel would allow me, but perhaps there's some sort of armor penetration that is not shown on the weapon card when using the down-chambered version, but I'm just getting so much better damage out of this particular version with the proper rifle rounds attached to it. So who knows, maybe there's a little bit of realism in the fact that the 9mm bullets are just not hitting as hard, which I don't mind. Just kind of wish the mod would indicate that to me, unless it did and I just didn't notice or care to look whether it actually did that. But anyways, things are going pretty well here. We got a cheap level up before, so we're able to keep on top of our health situation here. And this thing has definitely got all of the power that you probably ever need. Just because of its vanilla damage model, its ability to deal out bullets much faster than you would a standard assault rifle. Like, even the advanced assault rifle, you can only fire about that fast with it at most, which is plenty fast enough, but you can get double the speed here. It looks like the Brush Devils have shown up too. You can knock down the gutsies as well, and sometimes they freak out when you do that. So that's fun. Bit of bullet time VATS. Not we'll get a whole lot of shots using a scope on this thing, but really kind of isn't a good time for you guys to show up. So if you could just like go away, that would be great. As we eventually find their heads there. Like, there's basically no recoil at all. I'm full autoing and I'm just hitting the same spot over and over, which means the weapon, if your aim's good, which sometimes it is, I'm not getting any damage numbers on that fellow. I think it crashed. No, that guy's just immune to the numbers. He's got a special legendary. But yeah, I could just hose him down all day, adjust my aim, and I don't have to worry about wrestling the weapon down with its supreme high rate of fire and its recoil or anything. You could argue that the recoil compensating stock would be too strong on this occasion, and having no real feedback on the weapon does make it feel flat, but at the same time, it's a very accurate weapon, so your feedback is in your ability to kill stuff. So, I suppose it means the weapon doesn't really have much personality. There's no flaws here, really, is there? The only flaws are in my inability to aim sometimes, which means it's a great weapon if you're a skilled aim person, skilled fighter with your aim, if you're good on your sticks or on your mouse and keyboard. Not like me, of course. I'm not that great. Unless I'm playing Fortnite on sweat mode and I'm dropping these inept children in that game. It's good. I like getting those crown wins. Easy wins, easy life. But if you've got one of those MLG Pro aims where you can just track everything with the greatest of ease, you'll find this thing is going to be an extremely consistent weapon. Really not cool. Alright, I'm hitting the VATS button as soon as I come out of this. I'm not even going for headshots. No! Seriously? If I die here... Okay. We've gone into nerd rage and... Whoops. Okay. Having an out-of-body experience here. Die. Thank you. Alright, well that was odd. The job is done, however. So... I guess we can move on to the next thing. Okay, if that guy didn't have a grenade launcher, that would have been one of the more cruisy runs there. This thing's pretty much crushed it. It's not overpowered. I think it's sitting in a pretty good spot, but yeah, you might want to keep an eye on how many 5.56s you go through using this thing. At least on higher difficulties, it should be fine otherwise. Also, quick mention, it's probably not compatible with your prone mods, at least for the reload animations, because Yep, they're not made for your bullpups, so it is what it is. You can use it just in just look away when you reload this thing, which is, you know, few and far between. It's got a 60-round magazine, and of course it works with classic holstered weapons. I think it's sitting too high though. If you've got a long barrel version with a suppressor, it sort of balances itself out, but I think the weapon's too high. Also, I've given Raine a facelift. I made her eyes more prominent. Gave her lots of black eye makeup to make her look a little bit more prominent there. She's sort of got that raccoon look where she's got that dark around her eyes. I think that kind of suits her as a raider. You know, you look in your trash can, you see raccoons there. So, you know, I feel like that makes sense. A cheap kill on Swan by infinitely knocking him down until he dies, possibly leading to him falling down into the earth and having to pull him out via console commands. Don't mind if I do. Also, I don't know who that was over there, but they're going down. Who is that? Who is that person in blue? Well, they're aggroed now, whoever they are. Oh, it's an alpha mongrel. Well, you're about to have a very bad day, my friend. And what we'll do is, whoops, target your head. And then we'll get a couple of easy, cheap shots into his face. There we go. And continue Operation Knockdown, please. Nope, they're still aggro to something else. Oh, I didn't kill the dog, that's why. Now, are we good now? I think there's still one more, actually. Really not liking this. Hang on, I've got a plan. Easy elevation. Alright, now he stomped on it, and we're in danger. Well, not cool, man. Here's what I could do, though. I've got a full bar of AP. I've got all of the crits in the world, so let's just hit him up with every single crit we can. Okay, that was less effective than I thought, but we should be able to whittle his health down nice and easy. Now, I wonder if he can actually do his hammer drop. Well, he can do that. We can do the old cheap stagger cancel, though, to make sure that won't be a problem for us. Now it's a straight DPS war, and I think I've got you covered, mate, just quietly. Kind of wasted my critical there. I think someone's scratching me. Can you not? There's the bash animation, by the way. I don't usually do that, but we rolled the lucky crit there, and it might be time to go into nerd rage once again, but who knows? I got no idea why I'm hitting him for an additional 44 damage there. That's odd to me. Alright. We kind of got pissed off after the fact that he died, but yep, for a straight DPS war, that's it. Oh, look, Gina's running. Wait, you can't see. Got a new German Shepherd. I've been looking after her. That's why I haven't been posting videos. We've been going outside hunting rabbits. Her name's Gina. I'll try to post a video over the top of this so you can see a beautiful black-haired German Shepherd, like jet black, like my Commodore jet black. Very nice. Anyways, yeah, she's just ran in the room and said hello, and she's gone away now. Okay, this time we'll actually do the sniper knockdown sniper status Tavor for real this time. So if you could just sit down on the ground. Oh no, I'm gonna get cock-blocked here by the mysterious stranger. Oh, that's a little bit of DPS. I won't say no to that. Ah, he got destroyed. You know what? It's actually kind of cathartic to see the... Wow, he spotted me from back there. Good on him, I guess. But it's kind of cathartic to see the mysterious stranger dropped like that, because it's always kind of annoying when you're in VATS, right? And you exit out of it because you want to reposition or anything, and then you're just stuck watching that stupid asshole take a million years to fire his revolver at things. Yeah, it's cathartic watching him getting dropped by the mighty Wendigo. Anyways, this one's on ice. He couldn't even touch us there. And with that, I think you get the point. So the Tavor X95, extremely high quality weapon. There's also a level-less injected version of it, but it's way easier just to craft this thing through sacrificing an assault rifle on a workbench. It means you can get it quick with a weapon that is already integrated into the weapon lists of the game, because it's an assault rifle. It's a vanilla game item. But it's really good. Good animations. The sounds are great. It feels good. Probably the way I would want to improve this is just give it a little bit more recoil, just so there's a little bit of you know, at least a little bit of feedback when you're firing this thing. Like, sure, it's going straight up. I can just counter that by moving the mouse slightly down as I'm firing. But with these suppressed versions there, like, there's very little recoil at all. I'm pretty sure the recoil is in the negatives. Maybe. I had a configuration where the recoil was in the negatives last time I was messing around with this. But maybe a little bit more recoil there because, well, it's just simply too accurate at the moment, and there's nothing to fight your aim other than the enemies moving around. So perhaps I feel like it might be overperforming by the fact that it just hits everything that you're pointing at without any struggle at all. But maybe that's just how the model likes his stuff, and just an ultra accurate, high rate of fire bullpup rifle is just what they wanted to make. But here it is. Wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more recoil though, just to, you know, tone it down a little bit. But a worthy weapon mod. Definitely recommend you download this one. Check it out. Link's in the description. Thank you very much for watching, guys.